Welcome, Queen. There was a time I wondered what my purpose was in my life and for my life. And often we can find ourselves seeking and searching in the wrong places and spaces for life's answers. Can you relate to wondering or wanting to know what your purpose was, yet struggling to identify it? If so, today's life lesson session is for you because I'm going to be sharing why so many people struggle with identifying their purpose and who is the best person to ask. Now, in its simplest form, purpose is the reason a person or thing exists, the why it was created. So, when we think about purpose, often many people can struggle with identifying it because they were not taught how to identify it. They don't know where they should be to fulfill it, and they don't have the guidance to understand the why behind their purpose. So, here's what you need to know about purpose: your purpose, in most instances, will not ever be one set, unchanging thing from the beginning to the end of your life. In fact, I will go out on a limb here and say many, if not all of us, have more than one purpose, more than one reason we were created, more than one reason we exist today on planet Earth. So let's take, for example, Dr. King's mother, Martin Luther King Jr. Now, many of us are quite familiar with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his impact on our world and on our society, and how his conviction to stand on his beliefs changed our world and the world that we live in currently. And if it would not be for him, our world would look much different. Many of us can agree that that is the case. And yet, with the hundreds and maybe even thousands of parades and celebrations that we have in his honor year after year after year, how often do you hear about his mother? How many images have you seen of her? I ask that because part of her purpose was to give birth to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, are there other things that she did? I'm quite sure there are. But when we think about her, one thing we know is that she gave birth to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and his contributions changed our world. And yet, this is a woman who many people, they don't know her name. If you ask them her name off the top of their head, they cannot tell you. In essence, she is kind of unknown. An unknown person who, through birthing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., indirectly changed the world. And so I share that with you because often many people can miss their purpose because they are looking for a platform, they are looking for a mic, they are looking for cameras and shining and flashing lights. And that may not necessarily be what their purpose is. They may not be called to that. But if they are seeking that, if they are searching for that, their purpose could be staring them in the face and they not see it because they are looking in the wrong spaces and places for their purpose. So please hear me when I say this. Your purpose, or purposes rather, none of them may be for you to be well known. And it doesn't make your purposes less than. It doesn't make you less than. I mean, think about a toothbrush. Do you know how challenging it would be to brush your teeth without a toothbrush? Think about that dish towel for those of you who wash your dishes by hand. When it comes to washing your dishes, I mean, that dish towel is quite purposeful, isn't it? The same thing can be said for a duster. When you're trying to get to those high and hard to reach reach spaces and places, that dust comes in handy, doesn't it? Doesn't it simplify your life? I know it does for me because I'm not that tall. And so I share that with you because they all have an intended purpose and they're all helpful to us and for us. And yet, none of these things are something that people are in awe of. We don't give those things a wow. I know I don't. When I get up to brush my teeth, I'm not thinking, wow, sure am glad I had this toothbrush. When I go to wash those dishes, I'm not thinking, wow, glad to have this dish towel. And even though those things don't get the wow factor from us, they don't get that level of appreciation from us, it doesn't mean that they are not a value add to our lives, because they quite are. And this even goes for gas. Think about this. Many of our vehicles, they take gas, don't they? And you will likely never hear gas getting a praise report. You will likely never hear somebody saying how thankful and grateful they are to have gas in their car. You likely won't hear that. Not day to day. You won't hear people expressing gratitude for gas. But let me tell you, let a hurricane, tornado, or a brush fire break out in your area, and there's a mandatory evacuation issue, and you have to leave. What is the number one thing most people search for in those instances? Gas. They trying to get to that gas station, and you can attest, I know I can, that there are times that during those instances, people get real rowdy over that gas, don't they? Why? Because it is valuable. And yet, we don't necessarily appreciate it to its fullest potential until we really are hard pressed to find it and we really need it. But even in situations and cases where we're not in dire straits, the gas doesn't lose its value. It's still valuable. It's just the way that we see it. And sometimes that's our issue with our purpose. Sometimes we have identified it, but because we don't see it as purposeful and valuable, we dismiss it and we overlook it, and we keep searching, saying, no, certainly this can't be it. And so again, I stopped by to share with you that purpose, or your purposes rather, don't have to be something that is going to make you well known or popular or give you a stage or a platform. But again, that doesn't diminish its value. So recognize that your purpose, just like gas, it may not come with shows. It may not come with applause. It may not come with people saying how great and wonderful you are, but it's still valuable. And I encourage you to seek God's face. Really sit with Him and ask Him to show you why He created you. What is it that He desires for you to do while you are on planet Earth? Because the Creator knows all about you. Now, some of you may say, I don't believe in God. If not, this is not for you. But I still share with you that no one knows more about you than the person who created you. So think about that. For everybody else, you may need to journal it out. And the clarity may not come in one sitting. You may have to stay at God's feet and stay in His face to really hear what it is He's saying to you about why He created you, what He intended for you to do while you were on planet Earth. And I'll use myself for an example. It didn't come to me overnight. In fact, it took me a course of over 20 years to really get clear on why I am here on planet Earth. And as I evolve and I grow, that shifts and that changes. And that's why I can share with you that your purpose is not, in most instances, going to be one set thing from the beginning to the end of your life. And I know that may not be the answer that you're looking for, but I want to assure you that there's nothing wrong with being unclear. That's part of the journey. Embrace it and know that as you continue to seek God's face and ask Him what it is He intended for you to do, He will share it with you, because He is not the author of confusion. He does not want you to walk around uncertain and unclear on why He created you to be here on planet Earth. But until you're clear, here's the thing: don't stress about not being clear. Instead of stressing, just take each day to improve you, seek godly wisdom, and love yourself and others the King's way. And as you do so, you will develop discernment and a deeper and closer relationship to God. And as you do so, that will make you more sensitive to what He's saying to you about the reasons He created you. And eventually, you will be clear about your intended purposes in your life and for your life. And you may be saying, "Are you certain?" I'm certain. Because when Jesus was asked about the greatest commandment, this is what He said: "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind." This is the great commandment. And the second is like it: you shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. As always, I'm Coach Sam, telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you can change your life. So go ahead and do something life-changing now.